Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry, I'm a bit tired. This is like the fourth take I'm doing because there's just been some stuff going on wrong with my computer. What we shall be working on today is UITableView, and we're going to be doing dynamic table view. We're going to be creating something just like this. This is custom header titles, a UI label that dynamically resizes itself, a UI cell that dynamically resizes itself around the label, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to be walking through how to create this. It's quite straightforward. When I first learned how to use table views, I was kind of intimidated by the dynamic ones, but really it's not hard. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to get straight to it. And bear with me because I'm a little bit tired. So here we go. Let's get started. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new Xcode project. Table view tutorial. Obviously you can call it what you want. Let me go back quickly. Swift, universal, next, then create. Okay. First thing we're gonna do is go over to the storyboard and delete this view controller. Then I'm gonna get a table view controller. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment box. I really just want to run through this as quickly as possible. I'm gonna make this the initial view controller. Then I'm gonna go over to File, New, File. We're gonna create a Cocoa Touch class, and it's gonna be a subclass of UI Table View Controller, and it's gonna be called our Table View Controller. Create. I'm gonna go back to the storyboard. Gonna select this view controller, and I'm gonna make it the same class as the one we just created. I'm going to go back to File, New again for the second time because we also need to create a new class for our cell or any number of prototype cells that we might create. And obviously it's going to be a subclass of UI table view cell. I'm going to call it our table view cell and create that as well. Okay, so now we can start building our dynamic cell. I'm going to select on the table view, and on the right we have some options. For this tutorial, we're only going to make one prototype cell, but you can put any number of prototype cells you want. Really, for each different prototype cell you create, you're going to want to create a new class if it's going to be a different cell. And for every cell, you need to give, you need to give each cell a reuse identifier. I'm just going to call this our cell for the purposes of this tutorial. You can call yours whatever you want. And let me go back to the table view. And for this tutorial, I want to do groups because I want to show you guys how to programmatically set the the header, of each group. So now we can get started on actually putting stuff into the cell. And I'm only gonna put a label. Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna put a label and a button, just to make things a bit, actually no, I'm not, sorry, I'm just going to put a label just for this. If there's interest, I can make another one where we work on different cells, but for this one I'm just going to put a label. Now it's important that you do this. In fact, before I even do any constraints, if in your label you're going to have more than one line and you don't know how many lines you're going to have, you set the number of lines in the attributes inspector to 0. What happens is it now will dynamically resize the number of lines of this UI label to be however many it needs. If you put it to 1 or 2 or 3 or any number and you have more than that, it just cuts them off. So really the best thing to do is to put it to 0, because if you're working with different devices, you never know how it's going to display it, and the best thing really is just to let it do the job for you. So we put it to 0. And now it's important that when we use the auto layout that we don't do this. I've made this mistake before. If we do just this, then it just puts it in the middle, but it doesn't create any kind of boundaries between the label and the cell. So if this is like 5 lines, it's going to be like 3 lines up here and 3 lines down here. So you definitely don't want to do that. What you want to do, connect constraints, is control, drag to content view, and hold shift to select multiple selections, leading space, trailing space, top space, bottom space. Hit enter. There we have it. We're going to go over to our constraints and make sure that there are no numbers here, because this is what usually happens. But For this, we don't want these numbers here, so we're going to put 0. And for this one, put 0. And for this one, put 0. Now we have a cell that is going to dynamically, we have a label that's going to dynamically resize itself to contain anything, any amount of text that it needs. So it's going to be as many lines as it needs to be. And as it stands, the cell is just going to be this size, but we're going to change that in a second. Before we move on to that, I want to link up this UI label with the class that we've created, our cell class. So here we go. And all you do is, as you normally do in Swift, you control drag from the label over to the, okay, no, we can't do this. Why can't we do this? Because I forgot to change the cell class to our table view cell. And then now I should be able to drag from here. Yep, we can. I'm just going to call this our cell label and have it as an outlet. Now I'm going to go back here, and now did I put a reuse identifier? I did, didn't I? Okay, so now we can get working on what's actually going to go in here. To do that, we have to go to our table view controller, and I'm going to show you the text we're going to be working with. We are going to be working with this poem by Rudyard Kipling. It's called If. Now, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, so we're going to create 4 strings. There's several ways to do this, but I just want to do it this way just to show you how dynamic table views work. So paragraph 1, equals, and I'm just going to copy and paste that in from here. I'm going to put this on, I'm going to put all this code on my GitHub page, so you can just copy and paste it, but I had to format it myself. Really apologize for that. I completely forgot where I was, but here we are starting again. So here we have text for paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and paragraph 4. We are going to have each paragraph in a different section. So there's several ways you can do this. I'm going to, okay, so this here, override thunk, number of sections in table view, does what you'd suggest. It returns a number, and the number that it returns will give you the number of sections in the table view. This function here, number of rows in section, again, it returns a number of rows in section. Now, you can tweak these any ways you want, like a million different ways. I could put 10 here, and then here I could put, instead of returning a number, I could put switch, and then for each different case, switch on section. I could put, case 0, return 4, case 1, return 7. So what that would mean is that in section 0 it returns 4 cells, in section 1 it returns 7. And you could do this any way you want. You could change the case into a variable, and the opportunities and possibilities are endless. But for this tutorial, we are going to keep it simple, real simple. And obviously you can ask me questions in the comment box, and I'll let you know what else you can do with it. We're going to keep this real simple. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an array here. Let I can't put if, can I? Let poem of type string equal return. Nope, I gotta do it like this. Sorry, no. Return. We are gonna put this paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4. Okay. Oops, sorry, I gotta put the equal sign there. Okay. What's going on? Oh, it's because I don't have anything here. Sorry, one second. Oops, sorry. Look at me making mistakes in my tutorial. Yeah, okay, here we go. Now, we have 4 different paragraphs and we have an array called poem. Now, what I'm going to do here is put poem.count. And this is whatever number of variables there are in this array, that's going to be whatever number of sections we have. And for each section, I'm going to just return 1 row. Now, this is where all the magic happens. Override func table view self override index path. This is where all the magic happens. So we need to uncomment this function here, and then we can get working with it. Now, sorry, I spent so much time doing this, I forgot what we called our cell. So I'm going to quickly run back and let's click on our cell and get up the attributes inspector. And the identifier is our cell, and it is our table view cell. So we go back here. What this does is for every single row, it creates a cell and returns a cell. Here we can configure the cell to be whatever we want. And we need to tell it, what type we want that cell to be. So we want it to be as our table view cell, but we need to unwrap it because it's going to be an optional. And then the reuse identifier needs to be the one that we selected, our cell. So now what this is going to do is it's going to give us a bunch of cells with something just saying label in it. So let's run it and see how it looks. I don't know why it keeps selecting plus. Okay, let's run it and see how it looks. It's taking its time. Sorry guys, I need to get a new laptop. Yeah, there we go. We have 4 different sections, each section 1 cell, and each cell is exactly the same as the prototype we've designed. Now, this doesn't help us much. We need to get this to be paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4. And it really is very easy. Here, what we want to do is get the label in our cell, which is our cell label, dot text, and we want to set that equal to poem. Poem index path dot section. Now, what this does is whatever section we're in, index path dot section gives us a section. Whatever section we're in, we want the text label of the cell to be the same as the index of poem. So if this is section 0, it's going to be the first thing in the poem array, which is paragraph 1. If this is section 1, it's going to be the second thing in the array, paragraph 2. And so really, all we need is this very simple line here, and that populates all our cells. Now, before we run this, we need to go back and select, where we go. Did we do this already? I think I did. Wait, sorry, no. Yeah, 0. But all that does is it makes the number of lines in the label correspond. We haven't changed the size of the cell. Now that's what we're going to do here. And to do that, all we need to do is give the program an estimated row height. So table view dot estimated row height equals, let's say it should be about 100 for each one. And then we use this function, table view dot row height equals UITableView automatic dimension. So this should automate the size of all our cells. So if we go back, let's have a look. It should give us 4 paragraphs, each paragraph different size. Here we go. And this is the poem. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. Yeah, so this is it. And it's 4, as we said, but we don't have any titles yet, so that's what we're going to do now. Stop that, go back. Okay, so in order to get our header titles, we need to do override func, table view, title for header in section is the function we're looking for. And then here we're going to create a variable called header title, which is going to be an empty string. And then we are going to return this because obviously we need to return a string, header title. And then in between, we're going to assign it values depending on what section we're talking about. So we do switch, and here we have section instead of index path.section. So here we do switch on section, open it up, case 0, which is going to be paragraph 1, header title equals, oops, what am I doing? Ugh. Paragraph 1, oh, so ugly, can't type today, case 1 equal, header, sorry guys, sorry, I'm having a bad day, paragraph 2, case 2, header title equals paragraph 3, case 3, header title equals paragraph 4. Now, obviously, if you had an array of some sort, you could do it in a similar way that we did this if your model is quite big. But I just did it quickly for this particular example. And obviously, we have to do the default case as well. Break. Okay. And return header title. And that is it. That should give us our table view with our custom headers and our dynamically sized cells and UI label. Hopefully it should work. I'm having a bad day, so I apologize if this tutorial has seemed incoherent at any point. If you have any questions, why is it not showing? If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'm going to post this code on my GitHub page. I don't know why it's not running. Did I not press run? I think I did. Maybe I didn't. As I said, I'm having a bad day. And here we go. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4. And if we rotate, still keeps its size. And the reason we have all the space here is because I put new lines. But if we didn't put new lines, then this would go out the whole way. But as you can see, it's very tightly wound around the UI label. And that's it. That is this tutorial. Again, I apologize. I'm having a great day, so I apologize if at any point it was unclear. But if you like the video, subscribe. I'm going to do part 2, when in part 2, I'm going to show you how to seg from a cell into a new view controller. And we're going to use prepare for seg to pass information from the cell into the new view controller. And it's quite, not exciting, but it looks nice when you do it. So that's what I'm going to do in the part 2 of this. But for now, this is all I'm leaving you guys with. As I said previously, if you have any questions, just comment in the question box. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.